Welcome back to more Tales from the Crypt. Let's go. Today we're talking about episode 3. Dig that cat, he's real gone. And this might be my favorite episode from season 1. It's starring Joe Pantoliano or whatever. I call him Ralph Cifaretto because I'm a Sopranos fan. Or if you want to go deeper, Detective Mike Hunt, Beaver Falls Police Department. And this episode is directed by Richard Donner, the legendary director. He did Superman, The Omen, The Goonies, Lethal Weapon, and if you think about it, man, that is an eclectic bunch of movies. They're all completely different genres. The Omen's one of the scariest movies of the 70s. The Goonies is a preteen adventure fantasy movie, and Superman and Lethal Weapon are two gigantic box office blockbusters. Talk about range. And with Dig That Cat, it's one of Tales from the Crypt's earliest examples of fully embracing black comedy, grotesque spectacle, and comic book exaggeration, and of course, ironic punishment. But if you didn't know, before this show, Tales from the Crypt was a comic book that I used to read at the local drugstore because I was sick in the head as a 5-year-old and was obsessed with this kind of stuff. And this is based off the comic The Haunt of Fear. Not like I read it, but maybe you care. And this episode centers around Olrich. He's a homeless wino, which already doesn't make sense because the dude's not even 30. You're young, able-bodied. I don't care if you're an alcoholic. You still got another good 15 years in you before you're sleeping in a tent. My stepdad was a functioning alcoholic all the way into his 50s. Now he's basically like Olrich, but it took a while to get there. I'm sure someone will hire you in the meantime. But what do I know? What do you want from me? And Olrich undergoes this experimental medical procedure by this crazy-ass German Dr. Emil Manfred, who's on some Dr. Octagon type energy, putting together half shark alligator, half men. And with his logic, he can take the gland that cats have that give them 9 lives and put it into humans so he can kill them 8 times. Which you gotta suspend a level of disbelief here. Everyone knows cats don't really have 9 lives. Anyone that's ever had a cat and had to bury them wishes they could have got another 8 damn lives out of them. Just saying. But Joe Pantoliano, or whatever, absolutely crushes this role. He crushes everything he's ever been in. The frickin' Matrix, Sopranos. Let's see what else. Joe Pantoliano. Joe Paterno. He even coached Penn State. This guy can do everything. But this doctor guy is quite the charmer. He pulls up on a wino with a flask full of booze and a wad full of money. And he doesn't even have to bang him. He hit the lottery. So the doctor takes the life of the cat and puts it into Lars Ulrich over here. And just to prove the doctor's point, he takes a German Ruger, puts it into Lars over here, gives him the old JFK, and then wakes his ass back up. But don't you think there'd be some scar tissue there? You're missing parts of your skull, bro. Parts of your brain. This doesn't make any sense. But the doctor, being the cocksucker he is, tells him a lie. He tells him he has 8 more lives, which is factually incorrect. If you're keeping score, the cat had to die for him to get the 9 lives. So automatically that's 8 lives. And now it's 7 because he just shot him in the head like an asshole. So he's purposely giving him false hope. Because let's be real, if you were given 9 lives, you're definitely going to go through those 8 within the first month. Skydiving with no parachute, overdosing on any drug you can get your hands on, pulling a Tyler Durden, driving off a bridge with no seatbelt, you're going to party. So the doctor has this master plan. We're going to get rich beyond our wildest beliefs. I'm going to put you in the frickin' circus. Come on, you got a guy that can die 8 times, and that's your genius idea, put him in the circus? But it does end up paying well, because all these rubes believe in the gimmick. I'm sure you could have faked this and just made the same amount of money without actually dying. Ask Houdini. He only died once, and he still ran off with everyone's money. So his first public death is actually a callback to Houdini. Houdini's famous for doing the underwater escape, and Ulrich's gonna do the exact same thing, except he's not even gonna try to escape. He's gonna literally just die in front of everyone. And what's wrong with all these people? You gotta be some sick bastards to sit through this. And you got the dude from Batman as the carny. I've seen this guy in a million movies, but if you put a gun in my head and told me to say his name, I'm a dead motherfucker. Robert Wool. I would have never guessed that. I've never heard that name before in my life. But shout out to Robert Wool. I've seen Batman so many damn times, you're like a family member at this point. And I don't even know your name. Nice to meet you. And then you got the usheress, I don't even know what you would call her, Coralie, who's macking on Olrich, trying to go to dinner because she sees how much money this is generating, and she wants to wet her beak. And Olrich wants to wet his whistle, even though it looks pretty damn wet right now. But shout out to Coralie. She is quite the baddie, played by Kathleen York. I've never heard of her before, but this episode was damn near 40 years ago, and she's still banging. Something about that ginger gene. They might not have souls, but damn, they age well. But for you, Kathleen, you get the Baddie of the Week award, especially with them legs. So all the carny goers call BS on the whole charade. They feel like they're getting worked and these guys are pulling a ruse, so they all walk out the tent, because they don't want to be an accessory to murder here. But lo and behold, as soon as they walk out, homeboy comes back to life. And honestly, how do they know this is legit? Maybe they swapped out the body real quick. People are too damn impatient nowadays. Sometimes you gotta sit and wait a minute and let this thing play out. You're not even patient enough to watch a man die and come back to life, but this guy's patient enough to die in front of you selfish bastards. You make me sick. And then they all start cheering him. You fair weather fucks will fall for anything. And now homeboy's getting paid. Living like a baller, Loke. Him and Manfred Mann's Earth Band getting mail over here. And he's getting tail, cause Coralie's trying to bang winners. And what a difference a day makes. Who would have thought dying would be the greatest thing that ever happened in his life? I'm kinda jealous. I wish I could die 9 times. And they take this show on the road. He's even getting creative with his deaths. He's hanging himself. But honestly, even if you come back to life, you're doing some long-term damage to your vocal cords. There's gotta be an easier way to do this. Otherwise, you're gonna end up sounding like me. And you don't want that, because everyone's going to think you're angry when this is just how you normally talk. But just like every person in the world, you give them a little taste of success and they get greedy. It goes straight to their head. And Lars Ulrich is no exception. He figures, why am I splitting my money with Mr. Manfred over here when I should just off him and keep all the proceeds? Brilliant plan. So he pulls a Vanilla Sky, kamikazes himself in the car so he gets rid of Manfred, gives him the old Montreal screwjob double cross. I mean, we all saw that coming. Manfred was kind of a dick. He'd take 60% of the cut, while Ulrich was doing 100% of the dying. You were asking to be killed. That's on you. But all this dying is making Ulrich real ornery. I mean, wouldn't you be? Every week you're drowning, getting hung, vehicular manslaughtering yourself. I'd be pretty pissed off too. No one understands. Everyone else is benefiting, getting rich, having the time of their lives, while he's doing all the heavy lifting and hanging. I'd be pretty pissed off too. And he's being a diva. The fame is going straight to his head. He feels like he's immortal, even though he's using up all of his lives. He's treating all his friends like shit. And Coralie's had enough, so she takes one of his lives and runs off with his money. But he had it coming. And Coralie was a pretty chill chick, so to piss her off you gotta be a real asshole. Which he was. You don't feel bad for him every time he dies. It's a little bit cathartic. But his only problem is, he feels like this is gonna last forever. But you can go through those 9 lives extremely quick. And what I think his problem was, he didn't have any exit strategy beyond this. You gotta plan for the future. Why gamble with what lives you have? He really didn't see farther past those initial 9 lives. And that level of short-sightedness will get you killed prematurely. And when you're given 9 lives, you can only go to the well so many times before the gig is up. So he extorts Barker and tells him he's not going to go on stage unless he gets 100% of the cut. But the circus is still going to profit from ticket sales, merch booth. They're making out just fine. And this is his last time. But on the other hand, it's bad business. Because you don't want to be that guy, burning bridges on your way out. Because even though you're currently the one holding the cards, you're still trusting your life with these fucking guys. Who's to say they don't just re-kill your ass after you come back to life? And I'm sure if you put your minds together, you could figure out a way to fake this and keep the gig going. But Ulrich's too short-sighted for his own good. And that's a metaphor for his life. When you never had shit, you don't know how to act when you finally get it. And it's in your nature to just fuck it all up. And that's exactly what he does. He turned everyone against him. So in his final act, he lets them bury him alive. And let this be a lesson to all. When you're trusting people with your life and death, I highly suggest you don't fuck them over before you put your life in their hands. Cause once they buried you, they had no intention of digging you back up. He really stacked the deck against himself. Even if you did have an extra life, what the fuck are you gonna do? You're stuck down there. You're basically in a jail cell underground. You could have 9 lives, but what good are they when you're stuck in a casket? And they didn't shed any tears for him. They were happy to see him get lowered in the ground. And while Olrich's gloating that he made off with the money and stuck it to all his friends, he finally puts it all together. He's on his final life, because he never factored in the cat losing its life, counting as one of his lives. And there's your Larry David moment. But at this point, he's a day late and $1 short. When you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. But the chickens have finally come home to roost for this cocksucker. He was given a golden opportunity to make some coin and become a legend. And what did he do? Acted like a complete asshat, pissed off his friends, ran off his girl, and now he's stuck in a coffin underground. Like an asshole. What do you have to say for yourself? And by the time he figures out he's fucked, it's too late. You're exactly where you belong. And it's a fitting end for Lars Ulrich the fuckwit. And let that be a lesson to all. This guy who had 9 lives was so stupid and reckless, he died before he could live a full life. But the moral of this episode is how sick you all are as spectators. When given the opportunity to watch someone die, they take full advantage of it gleefully. They even participate in killing him. You even got a dad cheering on his minor son to shoot this bastard. You're all a bunch of fucking assholes. But I love this episode. Dig that cat? I can dig it. I can righteously dig it. This is the funniest Tales from the Crypt episode, definitely of season 1, perhaps the entire series. I'll find that out as I keep going. But shout out to Joe Pantoliano. He's a hell of an actor, funny as hell, and no matter what he's in, he always brings a top-notch performance. So it's a real treat to watch him on Tales from the Crypt, because this is one of the more memorable episodes in their history. And this episode is so damn old, this is one of the rare occasions he actually has hair. So take a picture, it'll last longer. But yeah, tell me some of your favorite scenes, your favorite quotes, and to the rest of you, I hope you have a good night. Be safe. She was a hoa, and God bless.